Now you can begin.
Yes, ma'am. Now is echo still there?
Now it's not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, as said by Nelson Mandela. Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the session on action research.
I'm sorry, Pratibha.
Yes,
This is an internal JSS session. So Hub of Learning is out from here. Please take out that logo.
I'll take out that.
So now we will pardon us for these glitches, team JSS teachers. Just some corrections. Thank you very much, Pratibha, for accommodating. Now we'll finally start. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I welcome all of you on behalf of JSS Public School, Senior Secondary, HSR Layout, Bangalore. We have gathered here virtually to discuss about the best practices that we follow in our teaching and learning process in classrooms. Once again, welcome you all for the session. We have invocation song now to begin this session.
Pratibha ma'am, can you stop your presentation? And
yes, ma'am, I'll stop.
Yes.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Thank you, Savita ma'am, for playing this video of invocation. So with the blessings of Sri Sri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji, we are going to start the session. I invite our principal ma'am, Mrs. Geetika Karola ma'am, to give her opening talk. Ma'am, please unmute, ma'am.
A very warm afternoon to everybody. What a welcome season of the year, the spring season, which signifies new hope, new aspirations, new dreams, and hope that we will be able to make our dreams come to reality. Well, friends, to begin with, let me just ask you a very basic thought-provoking word. When you hear the word teacher, what are the other roles that a teacher does that comes to your mind? You can quickly chat and put your words that come to mind with teacher. How are the roles of the teachers changing with time? What is she just a teacher, or she has other roles that she plays as a? Can you quickly chat and put your thoughts? Is she a teacher? What other roles she have? Facilitator, mentor, fantastic, Tamim. G. Anybody else? So we are teachers, facilitators, mentors. What else? What else? We are 25 people attending this workshop. 25 responses I want. I mean, our roles and responsibilities are unending. What else? A guide, absolutely. What else? Everybody can put their thoughts in. Are we just facilitators and guides? That's it? Please type Gangama madam, or you can even unmute and tell us quickly. So teachers, we are gurus, we are guides, we are mentors, we are educators, we are friend, philosopher, guide, absolutely wonderful. What else? That's it. Teachers, guide, mentors, facilitators, educators. Perhaps we are also learners, and we are also co-learners with our students. We are students also. We are even, in my opinion, practitioners. And more than practitioners, we are reflective practitioners. Sorry. So we are reflective practitioners, I would say, because all the time our context is very dynamic, it's changing, knowledge explosion is there, and the need of the hour keeps changing, the times are changing, and with the 21st century, the skills required, which we have to imbibe in our children, are also changing. The 21st century skills, critical thinking, inquiry, creative thinking, communication, creativity, these things have to be developed in the children. So our rule cannot be the old-fashioned sage on the stage. We have to move on to be a reflective practitioner. And for a reflective practitioner, the most important thing is to be a researcher, to be a person who is going to find new information, new knowledge in the areas of content or topic or idea or a phenomena. These are the areas that we are dealing with. And all the time we have to keep reflective. You and I would agree that when we teach a particular topic in one class, and the moment we teach the same topic in another class, between the first and the second class, we have reflected on how a session went. What went right, what went wrong, was the time management correct, was the core competencies and concept addressed was correct, was class control optimum, was I able to develop a bond and relationship with my students, were my learning outcomes met or not? These are the questions which strike us. And when we go and teach the same topic to the next section, we have reflected, and our next section and class is more effective and efficient. Something that we did in 2 periods in one class can be condensed more effectively in 1 period. So that is the essence of a reflective practitioner. But what is happening in real time is that this reflection, this knowledge which I have is by and large to my information. I can retrieve this kind of experience that I have had for my benefit. How about documenting it properly so that this information, this research finding, which is particular to me, can be used by others who are in the similar situations. So when we talk of action research, here the finding emerges from the actions we take. What are the actions we take? It follows a very simple cycle: plan, act, observe, and reflect. So you plan for a change, act means implementation, observe means a data that you have, and then what do? You reflect. How can you improve? And it keeps going through iterative cycles. You keep on improving so that the whole process is something like a living knowledge, a living finding, and it is continuous. There's not a thing. Action research, my friends, is not a thing. It's a reflective quest for reflective knowledge, and it defines itself as it proceeds. There is no specific outcome. You may have an objective in mind, you may have a hypothesis in mind, but it is not as definitive itself, because you take an action, you get a finding, you feel okay, this can still be improved. So it goes through a lot of iterative processes, and it keeps on evolving. So action research generates knowledge around practical educational content. This is very important for teachers if you want to develop personally and professionally. Now, teaching learning cannot be one way, it is very participative, and that is how action research helps us to make it participative in nature. Here, all the stakeholders, the co-teachers, the teacher herself, the students, the parents, everybody becomes a part of this collaborative action research, so to speak. So, well, this happened in a school because we felt that there are so many common errors which the children make in a particular subject. And if these common errors are not attended, they keep on emerging from one class to another. For example, math skill competency, or if it has to do with decimals or letter writing. Now, this comes in the area of subject specific area, but action research can also be taken in the area of, let us say, about the lunch boxes that you carry to school, or at the school level, why the question papers by the teachers are not submitted on time, or why are they not checked in time, why students come late to school, and many more things. So there is no end to the domain of action research. It could be purely academic, or it could enter in the fields of the affective domain. It could also be, for example, the formative feedback that teachers give. You know, end of every time you teach, the feedback, how your feedback should come to the children, or let's say using music for stimulating learning. So sum total of action research is that it is very organic. The teacher feels that a particular area needs to be worked on, an inquiry has to be done, a systematic approach, so that the quality of teaching and learning improves in the interest of the teacher and the taught. With these opening remarks, I now hand over the session to Pratibha and her teammates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was indeed a very good start for today's session. So let us now, what are the topics covered in today's session? Is my slide moving? So in today's session, we will be knowing about what is action research, who can do action research, why is action research, and when we can do action research. We will also go through the steps and process of action research with case study, that is with examples from subject science, mathematics, and English. At last, we will also check our
Thank you.
Your video is it's not working.
Can somebody else change the presentation? I don't know where Pratibha is.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it-
In today's session, we will be covering what is action research, who can do action research, why we have to do action research, and when can we do action research. We will also know about the steps and process of action research.
Pratibha ma'am, sorry to say,
Ma'am, slide is not
presentation
moving.
is not-
I'm trying to reconnect.
Your
I'm just filling the gap.
okay, team. Anybody else has a presentation? Yes or no? Just let me know that first.
No, ma'am. It is with me only.
Please make a note of it. Each one of you should keep the presentation, the entire presentation. Savita, do you have your presentation?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
part? Begin.
I have
Please
it.
begin.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, come. Come and meet me. Pratibha, please begin with your last point up. All right. I think Pratibha, you are in the school only, right? Yes, Savita, begin.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, Can you see the presentation, teachers? Is the presentation visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So good afternoon to one and all present here. Now we have chosen for class 5 in decimal division numbers. Sincere thanks from our principal ma'am, and researchers are Annapurna ma'am, myself and Neeta today, and of course our supporting team Maths department. Now,
This, please note, kindly note, this thank you will come in the end. Yesterday also I told you all, this thank you will come in the end, Savita and team. Okay? Thanking is always in the end. Introduction of team not required in the beginning.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how many rehearsals we will do?
Okay, ma'am. I'll change that. So myself, I'll be taking the session through the steps: introduction, objectives, causes of the problem, analysis, tools, and experimental design. And my co-teacher will be presenting on procedure of data collection, data analysis, result and interpretation, discussion, and bibliography. So proceeding on, now we have chosen as decimal divisions, as students of grade 5 were unable to perform division of decimal numbers. And the main thing is need of the problem, that is, it was found that students had fundamental knowledge on solving decimal concepts. And you all know that decimal division is the basic of mathematics, and it goes on in all the classes, continues in all the classes, 7th, and also it is used in other subjects also. So mainly we pick that part in the decimal concept. Objectives, the main objectives were to analyze the problem faced on solving division of decimal numbers. So mainly, what are the problems? Main problems. I think there are disturbance. Teachers, I kindly request everyone to mute. A lot of disturbance. Okay, I'll go on. Next to mathematical calculation on capacity, based on the capacity. Then to solve independently with proper procedural knowledge. So with proper methods, we are encouraging through this.
1 minute, Savita. Rajamma, madam, please see that your system is muted. Please kindly see your system is muted. Indra Mohan, madam, please mute. Kindly. Ravish Shankar, sir, please mute. Okay. Everybody kindly mute your systems. Yeah. Savita, go on fast now. Too much of warming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Very faster.
Yes. Next, causes of problem. See, mainly the causes of problem are due to difficulty in understanding the concept, then lack of previous knowledge, then lack of interest in subject. They might sometimes they'll not have the interest in the subject. Now, and also dyscalculia. This is very important. One of the basic problem of in maths. I would like to present one video on dyscalculia. Kindly watch, teachers.
Early warning signs of dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is a learning disability associated with mathematics. Individuals with dyscalculia don't process and represent numbers in a typical way. Hallmark 1. Using fingers to count. Kids with dyscalculia use crutches like these long after peers have stopped. 2. Persistent inability to memorize math facts. Poor working memory compromises the ability to calculate and remember solutions. 3. Inability to associate a number with a quantity. The meaning of numbers, the connection between a symbol or word and the quantity it represents, does not make sense.
Savita, madam,
4.
please stop it.
Yes,
And
yes, ma'am. Yes. So you all know how much problem it creates regarding the dyscalculia. Like it is they have to consult the doctor if it is overburdened. Next, you can see this analysis of through common errors. We found that after making few assessments, we found that few common errors. Through that, it was helpful to do the analysis of the problem. Like you can see here, when the few samples have corrected, concept not clear to the students. The concept, of decimals were not so clear. Shifting decimal points was not correct. So they really didn't know, how to shift the decimal points. Then all these things, placing decimal points in quotient was not correct, all those things. So they have had faced a lot of problems. Next, through this, we made few hypotheses, positive hypothesis. Now this is nothing but it's a testable prediction, which we'll expect with the positive analysis. And like example, if teacher solves more number of problems on the blackboard by using different methods with proper procedural skills, then the understanding of concept would not be so difficult. So like this, we made few hypotheses. Then designing test, for this we designed few tests like reteaching, worksheets, pre-test, post-test, all those things. And we collected few tools like interviews, homeworks, classwork, their math lab activity materials, online quiz, and so on, which through this we did many interventions, as this was very much needed. Now the intervention, to say, it is like different types of innovative teachings where teacher needs where exactly to be taught. Now here we some few examples we have taken, like estimation, multiplication by powers of 10, as you can see in the slide. Then using decimal blocks, then even using the decimal division, normal division method, and even solving through real life applications, and also through bar model method, which is very, very helpful. Then also through reciprocal teaching. Now this is, the reciprocal teaching. It is mainly guided teaching strategy where small groups of students improve their reading or solving by scaffold application of predicting, clarifying, questioning, all those things. Okay, so students conducted reciprocal teaching. And you also can see we did all the reteaching where children were not clear about the concepts. We also did the reteaching. Then digital teaching, as nowadays we all are doing the digital teaching. So through this also, through many stories, and through happy classroom. Now this
1 minute, Rita, 1 minute. Excuse
yes,
me, Sabita and team. Teachers, yes, please call out their names. Rita and some teachers, you are not muted. We have reached one level of experience. Madam, not muted. Seema S, you are going on presenting without being conscious about the environment, right? So I have to intervene and make a fool out of myself for the interest of the institution. If you are seeing disturbances, stop and tell them to mute.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
I'm not the postman here.
Okay. Yes, so through happy classroom also, it was very interesting. Now I would children here created their own stories. Now I would like to read one small story by which child on their own they created in the class, which was given the activity. Like you see, the child had made on story on the perfect pizza party. Let me read out a few sentences. Once upon a time, there were two best friends. One day they met at their friend's birthday. And they tried to share equally, but they couldn't do it. So how to solve it? So they solved through division, and they got 2.3 pieces each of them. So like this, the children created many beautiful stories which help them to make the division decimals very easy. Then we also taught them through math lab activities. As you can see here, you can observe here that money through shopping. So we made them to shop them, and they have to represent that to decimal numbers. Even here measurement. So the child is measuring her friend's height, like this. Many objects they were measuring.
Excuse me, Savita, I had told you all yesterday also. After you had done this activity, you all came excited to my room and said, ma'am, it was so nice. That effect you have to tell over here. You are going flat. What was the excitement? What was your insight? Why don't you tell that?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, sure. So they were, very excited to, do this, all these things. Everyone were engaged and discussing each other. So it was really interesting, and even we enjoyed. Teachers enjoyed a lot. Then now,
your statement of saying we enjoyed a lot makes a lot of impact when you're talking.
Yes.
Don't go the tape recorder way. Okay, Savita?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So now, keeping all this knowledge, learners were able to analyze the decimal concepts to calculate the quotient by using blocks, grids, all those things. They were also able to estimate the quotient, and they were able to divide the decimal numbers by whole numbers and also decimal numbers, which is very difficult task to do. And they were able to apply decimal division concepts in real life application. So the interventions helped out a lot to all the teachers, and carry forward to other coming projects also. Now, before
1
moving,
minute, Savita, wait. When there's nuisance noise coming, stop and shout and scream and tell teachers to learn.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, before moving to my co-teachers, before continuing by my co-teacher, I would like to give a small activity, just 2 questions. So I'll be going to a Mentimeter. This is a very good software for communicating. Now I'm going to share the screen, share the link, teachers, in the chat box. You can click on the link. I'll just share. Just give me 1 minute. I'm copying the link. One minute.
Who's this teacher?
Teacher, I kindly request you to mute.
Who's this teacher? MD Ali.
Sorry. 1 minute, please.
Good effort, Savita. Good effort.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just going to the chat. Yes, teachers, I think you got the link. Please click on that. Now I'll be going to the Mentimeter. Quickly, I'm going to yes, 1 minute, teachers. I'll just post the question. Before that, let me share the screen so that even you can see what exactly, how is it. Yes. Okay, I think you would have got the question now. You can answer, you can put in a chat. Ma'am, is that question seen? If you teachers,
yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yes, I'm getting the feedbacks. Very nice. So who is benefited the most from action research? Yes, I already got, even I think you people are also seeing. Students, teachers, yes, students. Any other answers? Any other answers? You are open to all, no problem. Is it only students, teachers, or students and students? I hope any other people also. I hope even parents are also, benefiting from this, as children will be improving. So, okay. Now let me go to the next question. Let me present the next question quickly. 1 minute. Yes, now this is little about out of the action research. You have to complete the proverb. Okay, you have to complete the proverb. Think today and dash. If you all know, you can type. It's okay, even if it's wrong also, doesn't matter. Yes. So you have the options here: see tomorrow, write tomorrow, speak tomorrow. Yes, I have got one. And yes, speak tomorrow. So I think all of you are towards speak tomorrow. Very well done, teachers. Since lack of time. Yes. Thank you, teachers. This is a short, a warm-up activity. Thank you so much. Now I would pass on to the session to Ms. Neeta. Neeta, let me stop the presentation. Thank you all, children, teachers.
Okay, very good afternoon to one and all present here. Myself, Neeta. Now I'm going to continue further with what presentation which has been conducted through Sarita ma'am, where she had stopped regarding Pratibha ma'am. I think it's echoing. Yeah. So I'm going to share the screen. I hope you can see the screen, dear teachers. Is my screen visible? So as we had learned about Sarita ma'am, she had told us regarding what we had done on the research. Basically, this math research was the concept which we selected was decimal division. Here in decimal division, we understood that the students were having really a problem.
Neeta ma'am.
Neeta madam, if you will use 2 devices and if 2 devices are on, it will come. You have to.
No, ma'am, I have muted the other device.
Now. Not
yes,
before.
I hope now I'm audible to everyone.
Also to do the same, then I'm telling you also to do the same.
I have muted. Okay, let's proceed with the presentation. As we have conducted action research where we were able to understand that the students were lacking with the concept on decimal division. I hope I'm audible now, dear teachers. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma, you're audible.
Thank you so much. So here we were talking about what we had done a research on decimal division, in which the students were lacking with the concept on decimal. Basically, they were not able to understand how to shift or how to write a division, how to do the division on decimal. So initially we understood certain key points that the students were learning to know how to work. So we gave some worksheets to them. Procedure of data collection, what we did was we gave them some worksheets, questionnaires to them, and we also conducted online games where obviously nowadays the students are really addicted to the online, or we could say digital learning will be very fast. So we thought this can be a better way for the students to learn.
Neeta, the word addicted is not good. Okay. As an educator, you should not use the word addicted. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. So the students were able to learn the concept even through the digital teaching. That is, we gave them some games to know how to do the division. They were able to do very well. Students, even now, they are following the same thing. That is through online games. They are learning other concepts too. And also we gave them online quiz. Online quiz is nothing but the students were given some online quizzes where they were able to do it very well through digitally. Based on all these, we collected few datas and we had to take the estimation of it. We understood that the students were not in good in certain concepts. So we have tabulated some of the pre-test scores here, through which I have also presented graphically where the students were not so good in certain concepts. So we were able to identify certain concepts and we tried to put the effort on by implementing through EIE activities, and we also gave them some math lab activities. We gave them reteaching, then pre-teaching, all these things, reciprocal teaching, all these. Gradually, we also, after all these procedure, we gave them some of the post-test. We gave them post-test where we could see that the students' results were really good. They were able to do well in their particular concepts where they were lacking, and we could see the great growth in the development of the knowledge. And we also tabulated the scores through percentile. Initially, when the students had the pre-test, the students were really bad in certain concepts. So the percentile were not so up to date. Now we could see that after post-test, gradually the knowledge on the concept was really developed. So this helps students to understand that through different kind of teachings, students were able to do the concepts very well. So the build on the knowledge was excellent on the students' skills. We also gave certain things like qualitative analysis, in which we gave them classworks. Obviously, we give classwork, homework. Even these helps the students to learn in a very better way. We encourage students to do lots of better homework where the children were able to do it independently and they were really good in their results. So the result and the interpretation could be seen here graphically, where initially the students were really not so well. Gradually, they developed their skill in the knowledge. After this, we could see that, now the teacher's anecdote. We were able to collect some teacher's anecdote too. Obviously, this was a very new for some teachers, even for me. As a result, research was really very exciting for all of us to learn different kinds of methods. And the teachers were very excited to know the methods of teaching, and also they were very appreciative to our principal ma'am because they were able to know different methods and they implemented the same method in their classrooms. So these are the teachers who gave us the anecdote on that, Mrs. Annapurna ma'am, Yogesh sir, and even Savita ma'am, myself. We were really, as a team, we did a great job by learning the concept of research, and also we were able to do it well. After all these methods of teaching, even the parents were glad to see that their own child were able to do their work independently, especially in the concept where they were lacking in. So these are the anecdotes of the parents, and even the children were very happy to know that they were able to do digitally and other tools within a team, in a group of discussion. It was really good for the students to participate, and they did very well. So this is the feedback which is being given by for the online games. That is nothing but, as we said before, we were just having a board teaching, but later on we used online digital based teaching and also projector teaching. So many methods where the students were excited and they were attracted towards the concept of digital teaching, and they were doing very well. So these are the feedbacks which was given by. And finally, data conclusion is like we conducted the action research where pre-test has been conducted, in which most of the students were very happy. They were strugglers initially. Later on, through EIE activities and MATLAB activities, as I said before, they were able to do it very well. Basically, the big idea of this concept was nowadays the students are expecting the teaching in a very out of box, not only the classroom teaching. They expect even the nature teaching outside, like maybe going outside the nature and learn. So we were able to do great in this particular field, fractions, decimal, and percentage too. Going further, we implemented decimal division in chemistry, physics, even the higher grade, higher classes students really, as we gave them a basic in a very good way, as they go to the next levels, obviously we started with 5th grade. Gradually, when they moved to the 6th, 7th, 8th, they were able to do it very well. Even now, the students from 8th, they give us the feedback saying that the foundation was great, because of which now it is very easy for them to calculate these things, that is decimal division in other concepts, other subjects. Moving forward, bibliography. We had referred this research through CBSE website, Diksha portal, and many other websites too. We had a reference on insert solutions. Then basically it was from Diksha portal, and it was a great opportunity for us to do this research. Thank you so much. Now I would love to.
Neeta, Savita, thank you and all. Slides don't. This is JSS Public School doing one presentation. Don't make it unit wise, department wise. Okay. So this thank you is not required. And kindly note that. Yes, Pratibha.
Pratibha madam, I'll go ahead, right? Yes. Good afternoon to one and all present here. Myself, Shashikala from English department. Give me a second to present the screen. I'll be talking about what we did in the action research in English. So here we go. So the main objective for the action research is to find out, take up a problem and work on it and find out the difficulties of students and see that what all can be provided extra for them to overcome those problems. So we had taken letter writing as an action research, as formal letter writing is very much needed in nowadays, like day-to-day life also. When they visit the bank, they may request letters, or even in many fields, like any official officers they visit also, if they need something, they have to write a letter. So it is a very basic need in nowadays in day-to-day life also, and also it's a very definite question in the board exam. So we thought the formal red letter writing is very, very important. So we just took that as a topic for class 8. So as we all know, so these are the different types of formal letters. So here in the formal letter, we have 3 main things, that is format, content, and expression. So we worked on it in the beginning classes. So here, when coming to action research, the first and foremost step is identification of the problem. As I told, we identified letter writing, especially the formal letter writing, as a main topic for our action research. Then defining the problem is another sub topic that comes under the step that come under identification of the problem. Here, that's what to create, to identify and to work on the problems of the problems of the students in creative writing. The next thing is statement of the problem. Just a second, teachers. So we identified their problems during the classes, during practice sessions, and also guided writing. So common errors were found out, as in when they practice in the classes. So what all the common errors different students make, that was listed out, and then worked on it, and also collected the data from formative assessments, what we do after each lesson. So next, coming here, we collected some, this was a samples of CBSE, from CBSE site was shown to students, so they know how exactly a formal letter looks, format, and what all the different things in the development stage, that is the paragraph, how many paragraphs, all these things, to just to show them an idea. We used such tools, and here is the same. Then as we move on, so this is a question we gave them to practice. So this is how they wrote the, this is the samples of our students. So here we can see some mistakes they have done in dates format, that is date writing, and here address, receiver address, all such mistakes were identified. So here is the data collected after the practices in the classes. So these are the data, quantitative data of students. Then we worked on it. This is a graphical representation. Next is pre-test, what we call it as pre-test, as it was shown in the maths also. And the next is designing test for hypothesis. So here it is nothing but, so how do we solve this problem? In this step, we found out, we discussed among our teachers, we discussed what all the methods we can use to overcome these misconceptions of the difficulty students. So we came up graded worksheets, and we had some classes with the experts where they gave them some clues how exactly they have to go with the letter writing, and also some videos, webinars, all these were shown. Different methods were followed to overcome these things, these problems. And these are some worksheets given so that they have to fill up the gaps, so that they know where exactly they are going wrong and how exactly the formal letter should be. Then comes samples of post-teaching. So here we have collected some samples from the students. So here we can see almost they have written correctly. Their writing is almost okay. And then here and there we can find, see this bulletin parts, points are out, the bulletin marks are out. All such silly mistakes they were doing. Here also format we can see that hyphen is given in between, all such things. So first and foremost, we just concentrated on formats. So these are the samples collected. Then, as we know, the recent exams, term 1 exams, CBSE uses multiple choice as a main item in the examination. So here this came in our way. So really very nice, because many options will be given in each stage of the exactly. What is the proper subject? What is the proper conclusion for a lecture? All this. So this was very helpful for the children, and for easy for the teachers also to reach to their difficulties. And here are some samples of this MCQs. Now, this is to recall our steps in the action research. So first and foremost, we have to identify the problem. What is exactly that we have to pick up the problem on which we will be taking up the action research. Here, as I told, letter writing was our problem, and defining the problem, what exactly we want them to be thorough. So here our creative writing and also proper letter writing was the main intention. Then collecting the data. So where and all the students feeling difficult, means having difficulty. So difficulty. So we in each stage of the letter, it was picked up. Then formulating the action hypothesis. So what best we can, in what best way we can solve the problem. What are the different tools we use? So that is what is formulating the action. Please, teachers, I request mute. Sorry. Okay. So the next is designing the test for hypothesis. Again, here we gave them some graded worksheets, samples, and also as I showed you, just they have to fill up the gaps that came in their way. So it was really very helpful for them. And interpret and infer the data tested. So this is also where we collected the data and we checked how much improvement has been. Then concluding the data, this is our review where we come to know how exactly it has worked out, how exactly the action research, whatever we have taken is worked out. So these are the different steps of action research. So here, after the research, we could feel that myself, I personally like to tell that I have become a better teacher to teach a formal letter writing to the students. Now I exactly know where now they go wrong. So in the beginning, in the teaching of, means when we begin with the letter writing itself, we usually teach them in a method, whatever the CBSE has told or whatever the format is there. But as I have seen different difficulties and also mistakes the students do, so now I'm prepared to answer them in different level of letter writing. So even my colleagues also has given their review here. One of my colleagues' review has been put up here. So this is the thing. She also feels that she is a better teacher now, and also she's very confident to teach formal letters. And here students also have given their reviews that they are very happy and they exactly know where they were going wrong and how to overcome it. So here are some parents and guardians review also. And here, so this will be done after Pratibha Madam's presentation. So thank you for listening to me, and over to Pratibha Madam.
Thank you, Shashi ma'am.
Yes, I'll just stop sharing. Thank you.
Shashi ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So welcome back. Sorry, there was a technical glitch, so I could not continue previously. I'll be continuing now. Let me introduce my teammates. Already you have met, you have heard them. The team was led by our principal ma'am, Mrs. Geetika Karola ma'am, and myself, Mrs. Pratibha, HOD Science Department. And just now you heard Mrs. Shashikala ma'am from English Department. And from Math Department, we have Mrs. Savita and Mrs. Neeta. So that was my team who we all have team up to do this action research. Why we have to do this action research? What are the objectives of this session? The very first is to identify the problem. Okay, so to identify the issues, the emerging problem in the teaching and learning process, and to implement an action strategy in which teachers and students and the stakeholders, means the participants, also should be benefited from this action research. Okay, we first identify, we try out to make new strategies which are in 21st century skills, which are very important in the present competitive world. Okay, and to also create holistic and integrated learning which are based on competency based teaching and learning process. And through this action research, we will also know more about the assessment patterns as given by international standards like PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, etc. So these are the objectives of the session, or if you say why we have to know or why we have to do action research. The moment I gave you the outline of the action research, many questions would have arisen in your mind. like what is this action research, who will do this action research, how we have to do this action research, is there a process or is there a steps to be followed, etc. Okay, yes, sure. In this session, I hope partly you came to know about the steps of the sessions. Now you will know more in detail about what are the steps, how the process goes on, how we have done in different subjects, what are our experiences, everything. That is why we are gathered here virtually to share our best practices. So before going into a complete detail steps of processes, I would like to watch this video. This is a 2-minute video.
Imagine that we have seen this video. Okay, let's skip this video, please.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So after viewing the video, we will come to know that there will be 4 stages for action research planning, how a problem can be identified, how analysis can be done, how it can be evaluated, and how it can be researched. Okay.
A minute. You
we'll
are
get a
saying
brief
hello,
about-
hello. You are
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
how, and your heading is saying what, who, why, and when.
What? Yes, ma'am. We have the description in the next slide.
No, but you keep saying how. No, Pratibha. Here the headings are what, why.
Period. Okay. CC
What, who, why, and when.
Go on now.
Okay, so let's go. Let's know about what is action research. Definition of action research. Many authors have proposed their own definitions. So I have tried to sum up a few here. First, it was defined by Parsons and Brown. Later on, it was defined by Carr and Kimmel.
Pratibha, please listen to me. Allow me to give you feedback. We are all
Yes, ma'am.
teachers. I told you even yesterday. Okay, we need not waste time in saying Parsons and Brown, Carr and Chemist. No, there are many definitions. You can read them on the screen on your own. The main point to be understood is that it is systematic. It is a systematic system of inquiry where the teacher is the reflective fraction. These 3 core points you highlight: solve problems, improve practice, and better outcome. That's it.
Yes,
You don't have
change
to
the
spend
process for
time in
better
warming
outcome.
up. You don't have to spend time in warming up definition. In fact, you can. Okay.
Okay, so it can be conducted by a single teacher or a team of teacher or even the other faculty members also. So we have to conduct this action research to improve our teaching practices, to address educational problems, the problems which come in need, okay, need of the hour. We can also analyze systematically and give a systematic approach for the problems. We can document the student performances, and we can also test their own ideas, the ideas from teacher end and the improvement from the students end, and to also improve the evaluation process. And when we can do this action research, whenever there is an educational problems, not only related to the academics, it is school wide. You can also say it is worldwide. To any problem, we can use this method and we can find a solution and we can use this. Okay, so overall view is
1 minute, Pratibha. Excuse me. It cannot be
Yes,
worldwide. Okay. Yeah, schools all over the world can use it, but an action research is specific to a teacher, which you know you are certified action research CBSE teacher. Okay, you have done the module and we have been discussing.
Yes,
okay, an action research is teacher specific, school specific, class wise, but it cannot be worldwide. Then it becomes an educational PhD. No? I think you missed using the words. It happens while teaching, but our team of teachers should understand
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is
Yes, ma'am.
not worldwide. You meant to say school-wide, yes, why children are coming late to
School-wide.
school. Correct. Education is dynamic and not static.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because why? Knowledge is not static. There is, it is evolving, and action research is all about finding and taking actions on your finding. Correct. Educational problems,
Yes, ma'am.
non-educational problems, improves their practices, because if a teacher has to be a professional, she has to reflect on what's going wrong, what's going right, in the interest of the children to be more efficient.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So
Yeah.
some of the problems in our school-wide problems are like late coming of the students. It might be late coming of ayahs, attendance problem, why the students are not performing well in the examinations, examination fears, etc. So many are there. So among that, we teachers have selected certain, we have identified certain problem areas, and we have tried to do research on that, and we have tried to solve those issues. Next, moving on to the steps and process of action research. So basically,
See, 1
you
minute,
have 4
Pratibha.
steps in.
Pratibha, excuse me. When you're showing this slide, next slide, you have next slide, slide number 11. You have to talk about this slide. You don't have to talk about the problems, right? You were talking about the examples of problems. Very good examples you have selected. But on the screen, you are
Yes, ma'am.
showing this slide. So the mind of
Okay, ma'am, I'll connect it.
the mind of the audience, go next slide number 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when you're talking about this slide, you talk about this slide. Don't talk about examples, no? Right? Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, correct.
So we have 4 stages in process of action research. 4 basic stages: planning stage, acting stage, developing stage, and then reflecting stage. So under planning stage, you have sub stages like identifying the problem, and how could you identify the problem, that is gathering the information, how you can gather the information, or tools used to gather the information, reviewing those problems, and then developing a research plan. Second stage is the acting stage, where we will collect the data and we will analyze the data. Third step is a developing stage, where we are going to analyze. After analysis, we are going to think about the methodologies. We will develop an action plan. And then at last, reflecting stage, where evaluation comes, assessment comes, and then we will check where the students are or where the teacher is. So whatever the action plan we have done and we have executed, how far we have executed and how far it was successful. So these are the stages of action research. Teachers, let us take a short break. Okay, quick break. I'll be asking you to enact. Okay, it is just a physical activity. Maybe like from past 45 minutes, you have been seated in one place. So just let us give a physical activity to our brain and hand. Okay, I'll be telling you a set of tasks. I will tell you the set of tasks. Please listen carefully. You have to listen to the task carefully. Okay, task in the sense, I will ask you to enact, okay, or maybe recite. Okay, so you have to follow my instructions and you have to enact. Are you all ready, teachers? You can all show me the thumbs up. You can on your videos and show me the thumbs up.
Yes, yes, very much ready. We need the energizer. Of course, we are ready.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we are
Here
ready.
goes your first question. You have to count backwards from 10 to 1. Go on, teachers. You can unmute yourself. I have to listen to the sound. Yes, come on. 10, 9, 8. Please go on.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. You have to scratch your head. Scratch your head. Yes. Wave your hands. Wave your hands above your head. Wave your hands above your head. Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now recite the alphabets A to M. Recite the alphabets A to M. I'm not hearing. Please be louder. Okay, then snap your fingers.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L,
Snap
M,
your
N, O, P.
fingers. Howl like a wolf. Howl like a wolf. Okay, stamp your feet. Stamp your feet. I can't hear. Stamp your feet. Yes, come on, you can do it. Okay, now say the word brain, brain, brain 3 times.
Brain, brain, brain.
Brain, brain,
Brain,
brain.
brain,
Enact,
brain.
enact, okay? Brain, brain, brain.
Brain,
Brain, brain, brain. Brain, brain, brain. Okay, thank you.
Brain.
Now actual question comes now. Okay, you have to tell me what was the third task which I asked you to enact. Which was the third task? Which was my third question? Yes, I can see Shashikala ma'am is.
Say from A to M.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Say from A to M.
Yeah. It is actually wave your hands above your head. That was my third task or the third question. Okay. Big applause for all the participants. My next and the last question will be, what was my 7th question? Last but second one, that is 7th question. Could you remember? If you remember, please go ahead. Give me the answer quickly. What was my 7th question or 7th task? Okay, time up. I'll give you the answer. It was stamp your feet. Okay, so this activity tells us like how concentration, about concentration, how with concentration, how we have to listen. Okay, and then under pressure, I was continuously giving you the task one after the other. So our mind also takes a time to restart, to end and to restart. Okay, so similarly, even in our students also, this happens. Okay, so as teachers, we should also instruct them. Okay, we should understand the students and we should give the instructions. We should follow the methods and we should give the instructions. So basically, I wanted to tell here is,
Can you all hear Pratibha?
We can't, no, ma'am. We are not able.
No.
Pratibha, ma'am.
Okay. Pratibha ma'am, if you can hear us, we will start continuing with the slides. You can move the slides because we can't hear you, Pratibha. So well, friends, the steps are very easy. All our other teachers have talked about these.
ma'am, now you can hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Slides, you can see the slide, steps in action research, planning stage. So this was our first step, if you could remember. Okay, so here what do we do is, we first identify the problem. Okay, problem identification is very, very important. Okay, so the problem should be feasible, it should be narrowly stated. Okay, and we have to select a problem in such a way that it will be easy for us to formulate an hypothesis. Okay, and it should be related to students who are learning in your class, because you know your students better. Okay, you can implement whatever the research methodologies you have amongst your students better, so that you'll get better response and you can go for better learning outcome. Okay, so we have identified the problems. So my colleague friends have already stated their problems, statement of problems in mathematics and in English. So I'll go ahead with my science topic. So in science topic, I have identified the problem, and I have stated the problem as to analyze the ability of reasoning and critical thinking concepts which are taught in science through quantitative method. And the final study comprised of students from grade 9 and 10 from JSS Public School, HSR Layout, Bengaluru. So how could I identify the problem? It was during the formal assessment, it was identified that few students were unable to crack the solution for assertion and reasoning questions. So my topic is assertion and reasoning question. Now let us quickly know what is this assertion and reasoning question. It might be a challenging concept even for the teachers also sometimes. Okay, so we'll come to know now what is assertion and reason. Okay, teachers, on the slide you can see an example here. I hope all of you can see this. Assertion: seeds should be treated with fungicide solution, and there is a reason: seeds do not germinate unless treated with fungicide solution. Can anyone quickly give me the answer? Okay, right. So before we know what it is, we cannot give the answer, right? So I'm here to tell you how it has to be cracked, okay, or how it has to be solved. Assertion is a statement, okay, one simple statement. It is a simple confident statement, okay, and you have the second statement as reason. Okay, then how you have to analyze this? The reason should be correct statement, and it should be correct explanation for the assertion statement. Okay, you will be having two statements, assertion and reason, right? Assertion also should be right, reason also should be right, and reason also should be correct explanation of assertion. Okay, so this is how the concept goes on with assertion and reasoning questions. So based on this, you will have an options given. 4 options will be given. Like both assertion and reason are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Assertion is true, but reason is false. And you have the 4th option. Assertion is false, but reason is true. So like this, you will be given 4 options. So even the students are supposed to select one best option out of this 4. Okay. Now one example is here. Seeds should be treated with fungicide solution. And the reason is seeds do not germinate unless treated with fungicide solution. I want few teachers to interact with me. Just tell me answers quickly. Or you can also use the chat box. Savita ma'am, can you help me like in the chat box if they are replying?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah. Quickly, can anybody unmute and speak? Is there any answer coming up in the chat box?
No, ma'am.
So teachers, I know that it's the lunch time. Just give me another 5 or 6 minutes. I'll be winding up. So quickly, if you can respond, we will close it quickly. Okay, fine. No responses, fine, no problem. So I'm here to help you out. So here, assertion reason is correct. Seeds should be treated with fungicide solution because we have to make it disease-free, right? So this statement is correct. Next is reasoning question. Seeds do not germinate unless treated with fungicide solution. This is the wrong statement, okay? There is no fast rule that seed has to be treated with fungicide solution, then only it will germinate. So the correct option will be C. So this is how even the students have to analyze the question of assertion and reasoning, and then they have to go ahead. It is very important for the students because it is an innate ability to solve the problems and think critically and then constructively. So as teachers, we have to build in all these things in students, okay? So when we started gathering the informations, first we noted down what they know about this assertion and reasoning questions, and what we have to teach them, how we have to teach them, okay? So that comes under the declarative knowledge, what they know, and then procedural knowledge, how we have to go about. Then we sat together, we team of science teachers, we sat together and we sorted out a plan. We started researching and we developed a research plan, how we have to go ahead, then when to do, which methods or tools we have to implement, okay? And now that comes under step 2, acting stage, okay? As you can see here, collecting and analyzing data tools are used. So different tools are used for collection of the data and analysis of data. Basically, you have 2 types of collecting data. One is qualitative data collection and the other one is quantitative data collection.
Good, Pratibha, you're on track. You're on track. Carry on. Fast.
In simple words, if I have to say, qualitative analysis is just a records. Okay, we have to check the records and we have to take the data. And quantitative data collection is it might be survey, it might be their marks, it might be their academic performances by looking into their report cards, etc. Okay, so in that way you have 2 types of collecting data. Okay, when we come to analyzing data, you have different ways to analyze data. So before analyzing, we have to know what are the cause for this problem amongst the students. Once if we know the cause, we can do action hypothesis and we can make out the strategies. We can plan for the strategies, different strategies we can use. Okay. So here we have collected, I have collected some of the samples from class 9 and 10. Many samples are there, very few I have sorted out here. And this sample we have collected from their test performances. A few samples I have collected through interactions, the way they have answered in the classroom, that is class observations, by observing their portfolio, and then a few qualitative analysis I have collected, qualitative data I have collected through test and exam performances, and then through performances in the questionnaire. It might be oral quiz or the written quiz. So these are the 2 samples I have put here. If I have to go through this sample, just one word I would just like to brief here. see the question says, assertion question says, ovary releases 1 egg every month. And the reason statement says the lining of uterus is always thick and spongy. So here the child have to analyze and then answer which is the correct option amongst the given. Okay. So the child here, they have made a mistake by selecting the wrong option. So what could be the cause? Maybe the child have not understood the concepts properly, or maybe they had confusion in selecting the options, or maybe overconfident. Okay, so whatever that underlying causes, so we have done the research and we will find out what are the causes. Once we find out the causes, we will make a strategy, we'll hypothesize it, and then finally in the developing stage, we will plan action. That is nothing but interventions. Okay, taking action on the strategies and activities. So here also we have many tools. Okay, so here different methods of teaching we can incorporate in our classrooms. Okay, here we speak about student-centered learning, blended learning. As all these comes under the 21st century skills. Okay, so we have to incorporate 21st century skills, and then competency-based learning, that is collaboration techniques, then digital incorporation in our teachings, etc. When I come to science subject, obviously we have to start with inquiry-based learning, experiment-based learning, activity-based learning, etc. So all these methodologies we incorporated in our research planning, and we started using in our classrooms. So here are some samples where we have used in our classrooms: inquiry-based instructions through online classes, and we have made research plan based on the Bloom's taxonomy, like motivating the students. Yes. So these are some of the techniques we have used, like dual coding. Then we have used quiz, Google Forms. We have also made them to do lab activities. And for review and reteaching, we had organized expert sessions where experts retaught those concepts which was difficult for the students. Going forward, the 9 students, when they went to class 10, so we still wanted to check what is their understanding. Okay, so we gave similar kind of test, and we checked whether still they could able to crack the assertion and reasoning type of questions or not. So for that, we started with the bridge course, and we were able to find that yes, students still remember those techniques of cracking assertion and reasoning questions. So we are moving ahead to the last step, that is evaluation step or testing evaluation. So before that, let us take again a short break. So I will be sharing a link in the chat box. Please click on the link.
Pratibha, we'll skip this.
Okay, ma'am.
We'll skip this, Pratibha.
Fine,
okay, Shashi, be ready. Is this the last slide, Pratibha?
Yes, ma'am. So this is the last step.
After this,
that is reflective stage or evaluate the results. So once we have conducted the reteaching review, then we will test the students, pen and paper test, or any kind of test it can be. You can give a quiz, etc. Many tools are there. So it is for the teachers also to learn, and for the students also to learn and improve. Okay. So, and those testing and the results can be recorded, data can be collected, and it can be presented on a chart, in the form of a chart, in the form of a graph, or in the form of a pie chart, so that we can easily get a tally between how they were before and how they are after, before the research sessions and after the research sessions. Yeah. So here is a graphical representation which I got pre-test before the methodology was used, and after we incorporated the methodologies in our teaching. So obviously, I could observe, we the team of science teachers, we could observe in the performance chart that the graph was high, and it shows that there was a tremendous improvement and change in the performance of the students, and our methodology is also good. So this is research is not an end. There is no end for the research. It is a cyclic process. So we can continue step by step. So
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
again, the
ಹಿಂದಿ
planning and
ಅವರಿಗೆ
developing
ರಾಜಮ್ಮನು
technique goes
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
on.
ಡೌಟ್ ಒಂಥರ
So we can
ಟೆನ್ಷನ್
also
ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
start reteaching the
ಅವ್ರ ಮೂರ್
concepts.
ಜನನು ಟೆನ್ಷನ್.
Okay. So going to the next step.
ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದಿ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು
Worksheets
ಬೇಡ,
were also given.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿ
Can I
ಇಲ್ಲ.
ask the teacher to mute
Excuse me,
herself?
dear teachers, please mute yourself.
Ma'am,
Please
one
mute
minute,
yourself
ma'am.
kindly.
Muted.
ಮೊದ್ಲಿದ್ದವರು ಎಲ್ಲಾರು
Yeah, muted.
ಎಲ್ಲಾರು
KP.
ಬದುಕ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
Yes, ma'am. I have muted her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So a bridge course worksheets were also given to the students. And in the next session, that is when students went from class 9 to 10, we also improved in our teachings. We brought many other methodologies into the classrooms, like we started teaching through concept and storyboards, and we started teaching them, and we made the students to undergo experiential learning activities, to do like experiential learning activities through activities, presenting their questions in the form of assertion and reasoning. Peer assessment and peer discussion was also encouraged in the classrooms. So summing up, so if we have to check the steps of action research, there are different types of action research, different types of collecting of data. So when we have to do action research, we have to keep in our mind 4 steps, that is selection of problem, that is identification of problem, planning of problem, analyzing the problem, and the last step is evaluation of the problem. So this action research was, of course, it is a long process, and it was also a challenging for me and for my team also. Why it was challenging? Because we had to spend extended time on this. Of course, we spent, and it is actually, it needs being multi-skilled and multi-talented. Okay. And we should also keep our rigor in the research. Okay. Like our energy level should not go down. When we start, we will have a lot of energy level, and we have to maintain that energy level because it is a long process. Okay. And of course, we had this rigor. So I would like to extend my big idea. Like we did this research to focus the attention of the students towards the content and encouraging them to solve and to critically think, critically reason, okay, and excel in their assertion and reasoning type of questions. Okay, I would like to conclude by saying that the whole research process was an awesome journey. Okay, it was a wonderful journey. We had ups and downs, yes, of course. Okay, lot of discussion underwent amongst the team members. Lot of support I also got from my team members and the school colleagues and the school members. And many days we took for planning, incorporating the strategies and getting the feedbacks of students, of teachers. Okay. We also organized teacher and parent interaction, okay, so that we can check where we are. Okay, a lot of lab activities we were supposed to plan, and we all did that. Okay, and finally we are all very happy, we are all very satisfied because we were successful to change and to get a good result from our students. Okay, I think for a teacher that is enough. Okay, that result. So I extend my sincere thanks to our principal ma'am, to all my colleagues, to my students, and to my parents also. So the whole process is basically based on CBSE. There is a course. There are the modules in Diksha portal, CBSE Action Research portal. So I would suggest all teachers should go through this modules, get thorough, learn, and we should incorporate in our teachings also. So as said by Kurt Lewin, learning is more effective when it is an active rather than a passive process. So only listening, we become passive. Okay, so we have to incorporate all these methodologies and teaching techniques in our classrooms. So then only we becomes active listener, we will become active practitioner or active educators, etc. So I'll end my session in today's session by saying that let us all incorporate different methodologies, different techniques. Let us create a happy moment in the classroom so that students can enjoy themselves more than serious studies, no? So if joyful moment they have, they will learn faster and they will remember it for a longer time. Thank you one and all for joining today's session and making this session a successful one. Now, I just want to interact with the audience if they have any feedback to give. Any feedback from the audience? You are welcome to type in the chat box. You can type it in the chat box, or you can orally.
Teachers of, yeah. Dear teachers of JSS group of schools, we, as you can see that this itself is a sample of what action research it means, because it's a reflective, it is action, and then you improve on your presentation. So that is how we are going forward. I want to appreciate the hard work done by all my team members. As they say, it is for the first time when you do, it is demanding, but once you get